Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shidimaume Stephanie, as you already know, as always, the queen, the wonderful, the delectable Chidimaume Stephanie. And here on my channel, I talk about faith, about lifestyle, and all that good stuff in between. Things that I think would inspire you, would educate you, and would probably entertain you. So today I decided to talk about a very important topic that I feel is taking center stage in our world today, both in Nigeria, in Africa, in the diaspora. It is becoming a thing, and I feel like we need to address it. And it's not like it's a bad thing, but I just feel like putting it into perspective would help us, would make us to approach it better. And what is it? It is self-care and self-love. We've heard about this. It's all over Twitter, it's all over Instagram, social media, name it, TikTok, it's everywhere. Where you see people talking about self love, you need to care for yourself, you need to love yourself a little bit more, yada, 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 yada. And I'm not here to completely cancel it and say that it is wrong to practice these things. But like I said earlier, I just want to put it in perspective so that you can understand what you're doing and you can be able to approach it in a better way and in a better sense. So without wasting much of your time, let's cut to the chase. So you must first start by understanding that every human being exists in three parts. We are more like tripartite beings. So we exist in spirit, we exist in soul, and we exist in our bodies. Now, most of the time, when you go online and you check out people who are talking about self care or self love, they are usually talking about a spa session or pedicure, manicure, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. It's more of an aesthetic thing than it is a wholesome thing. And I feel like a lot of people are now coming to react that the whole self care package on social media is not exactly what they need. And they still find themselves not loving themselves and not feeling properly cared for simply because they did their nails or they fixed their lashes. And so I decided to come up with a couple of tips, about 10 tips that I could give you that will help you to care for yourself. And I believe very strongly that at the end of these 10 tips, you would even feel that, yes, indeed, I've cared for myself. And so the first tip is do the internal work. Bro, you need to do the internal work. You need to bring yourself to a place where you start asking the questions that really matter. And that is about you, about yourself, about your heart, about what a lot of us cannot see. And I feel like this is the danger of self care that is being talked about and being proliferated all over social media. It's more about the externals, it's more, like I said, about aesthetics. But you need to first of all start by doing the internal work. How is your heart? Check in with yourself. How are you feeling? Recently, okay, so a lot of people in this particular point will say go for therapy. But because of I come from Lagos or I live in Lagos, Nigeria, I know that the vast majority of people in Lagos, Nigeria cannot exactly afford therapy because I have checked. They pay per hour. And I mean, the average person in Lagos. I mean, recently studies showed that, or I think it was published by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that not up to 10% of Nigerians have up to 500,000 naira in their bank account. I'm going to look for the equivalent of that amount in dollar and I'm just going to paste it somewhere for you to know that the amount of therapy, the amount of money that people have to pay for therapy, a lot of Nigerians do not have that, or a lot of Lagosians do not have that. However, I recently discovered that even on social media, you could find a lot of resources that can help you to deal with what is happening internally with you. So when I say resources, I mean videos, I mean articles, I mean people who are experts in the field. I would, off the top of my head, suggest that you go check out Dr. Anita Phillips. She's also a mental health person on YouTube. She does a lot of videos, a lot of sermons, a lot of talks and teachings. And one of the reasons why I really love her is because she's able to bring the talk on mental health and also somehow find a way to wrap the word of God and the Bible around that. So number two thing is journaling. Journaling is simply documenting, writing down whatever you find your emotions to be at a certain point in time. So I have an actual journal where I put down dreams, things that I'm experiencing, things that I feel. And recently I heard of video journaling or photo journaling. So some people take pictures and just keep it for keepsake. 5 years from now, you can just look through your pictures, look through your phones, or maybe look through YouTube and see that you stored some things for the future. These things really matter. And it helps you when you journal, you're able to trap time. So when you look back in time, you see that whatever situation you're going through, you've probably gone through something worse, or life just happens, life continues. I remember looking back into my journal. I remember when I wrote about the NSAS event and how scared I was during that season. And many years later, I would read that and realize, oh, we lived through that. You know, there are many other instances or many other circumstances that I realized I actually lived through that. It's really helpful so that when you want to continue your journey through life, you'd understand that you've seen some things, you've seen the bad, you've seen the good, and eventually life continues. Like people say, this too shall pass. Point. The next way to show that you truly love yourself or you're truly caring for yourself is physical activity, physical movement, going up and down, doing stuff, exercising, taking walks, um, doing stuff with your body really is another way to care for yourself. Remember, we said that there are three parts of you. Taking care of just the outside and just the aesthetic parts of you that makes other people think you look good is not enough. You also need to be healthy. And so when you want to go to the gym or when you want to do home exercise, it's not just about you having a perfect figure or looking in a certain kind of way, but it's about you being healthy. That leads me to my next point, which is cleaning out your physical space. Sis, or bro, whoever needs this. You're done doing your pedicure, you're done doing your manicure, you're done with your facials, you've gone to the spa to get a good massage, you had a sauna bath or whatever that thing is called. You're done with all of those things. And then you come into a space you don't like. You come into a dirty environment. You come into a place that is probably clean, but you honestly don't like the way your space looks. You know that you cannot be productive or you cannot be functioning at an optimal level in an environment or a space that you do not like. And so, another way to take care of yourself is to make sure that your apartment, your space, your environment looks good. It's appealing enough for you to want to stay in it. It doesn't just look anyhow drabby and you honestly don't care about how it looks. Now, the next point after that will be your own self and the food that you eat. So, we're still talking about what happens inside your body. The food that you eat, you have to be careful. How can you say that you love yourself? How can you say that you're caring for yourself, yet you only take chocolate, you only take sugar, you only take things that are bad for your health, alcohol, and all of these other things, and you cannot remember the last time you had balanced diet, or the last time you had fruits, or the last time you had something that you know is good for your body. That's not self-care. Number six, we have aesthetics and beauty. You can imagine that is everything that I would usually see on Twitter and on TikTok and on all the social media platforms as number one. On this list, it's number six. Looking beautiful is a must have. It's, in fact, it's a no brainer. You need to look good because people will certainly look at you from the outside first. They will judge you based on what they see. They don't really care about who you are, but what they see. And we cannot take away the fact that looking good makes you feel more confident, it makes you feel better. So go ahead, do your nails, fix your lashes, do your hair, do your makeup, do whatever you want to do on the outside that will make you feel good, look good. Go for your shopping, get the new clothes, the new bags, the new shoes. Make sure that you look put together because that would certainly help you to be more confident when you step out. That is also a branch of self-care, and we can attribute that branch towards to your physical body, to the way you look. So look good, smell good, feel good. You get. On number 7, we have self education and self improvement and self regulation. This one is a lot more introspective. Now, you need to be someone who is interested about growing yourself. How can you say that you care for yourself? How can you say that you love yourself when you cannot remember the last time you watched a YouTube video that you know is beneficial to your health, or beneficial to your mind, or beneficial to your career? You are totally uninterested in anything that will help you grow. You are totally uninterested in things like self governance, self regulation, self control, emotional intelligence. You honestly don't even know about those things, but you claim to love yourself. Says, says, wake up. It's not possible. It is completely impossible for you to care about just the outward. Recently, I learned that things like cancer, things like a lot of terminal illnesses can be tied or closely linked to emotional trauma. So a lot of people don't take care of their emotions because they think, oh, that's not for me, that's too expensive, I really don't care, I'm okay. There's this book that is making waves now. A lot of people are reading the book and talking about the book. The name of the book is The Body Keeps Score. Just the title of the book tells you everything. Your body keeps score. Just think of your body as an unforgiving person that never forgets the wickedness that you've done to it. It will remember. And even if it doesn't talk now, it would eventually say something. I would always advise you, and I would always encourage you to learn to self regulate. I'd encourage you to read, take things like emotional intelligence seriously, learn about all these things that they say trauma, emotional intelligence. Go and learn about it, go and read about it, and see if things like, oh, heal your inner child, all of these things. A lot of people are like, oh, that's not for me, that's for young children. I'm an advanced person, I don't need inner child, those things are for Gen Z people. Go and check, go and learn about it. Because if your body has experienced it, if your eyes have seen it, or if you've walked in that um in that in that space before, if you've ever had that experience, then trust me when I say that there's somewhere in your body, it is it is waiting like a time bomb, just looking for the right time to explode in your face. If you're going through grief, if you're going through a heartbreak, if you're going through abuse, or you've gone through it before, it's not enough for you to just look for other things to cover it up. Find a way to heal from those things and heal properly. Number 8, we have social life. That's another way to care for yourself. That's another way to show yourself that you care for yourself. How do you take the friends around you, the connections, the people that God has placed in your life? It is not just enough to shout self care, but you hate everybody. Self care, but you are keeping malice with your neighbors. Self care, but nobody has anything good to say about you. The only thing good that is going on in your life is your manicure and your pedicure. It means you don't love yourself. If you claim to love yourself, you should also learn to live in harmony with the people around you. It's also another way of showing yourself that you. Another way to practice self-care is through prayer, meditation, and the study of the word. Brah, that's the ultimate self-care. That is the ultimate self-care. That is the ultimate way to make sure that your heart, your spirit, and your soul is balanced. Make sure that you read the word of God. Make sure that you are always someone who finds yourself in prayer. I'd always suggest, if you find it difficult to pray, one of the fastest and the best ways to get your spiritual life back is to just hobnob with people who think the way you think, people who are like minded, people who see the way you see, people who reason the way you reason, people who are walking in your direction. You get. So, these few points, I feel like if you're able to implement or infuse them into your self-care routine, you find out that self-care is not something that happens just on Saturdays or Sundays alone. It should happen every single day, every single